We had a World Cup winning midfielder. We had a team that had just finished second in the Premier League. And we had a quartet of players that had just enjoyed an absolutely wonderful World Cup with the Three Lions. But we also made only 3 signings, and one of them was a third choice goalkeeper. We got off to a winning start with victory over Leicester in the Premier League, but it didn't take long for the wheels to fall off, with Brighton and Tottenham sticking 3 past us. All was not well with Jose Mourinho and Manchester United.
When you play the way you play, when you create what you create, when you miss the chances that we missed, everybody was frustrated but totally convinced that was going to win the match.
It wasn't just the board that Jose was unhappy with. Paul Pogba had had a gagging order, and Anthony Martial was told off for spending too much time with his newborn baby.
Wins at Burnley and Watford in September eased the pressure and weathered the storm, and Lukaku rediscovered his goal-scoring touch.
Here's Lukaku!
A 3-0 win over Young Boys gave us hope that this season might not be a disaster after all.
Martial to finish it off.
But the Wolves were at the door when they left Old Trafford with a point. They played us off the park, and Pogba criticised the manager's tactics, which resulted in Pogba losing the Manchester United vice-captaincy.
A lot of rumours today about a possible fallout between you and Paul Pogba. Is there any truth in that?
No, the only truth is that I made the decision of Paul not to be the second captain anymore, but no fallout, no problems at all.
Derby knocked Manchester United out of the League Cup, as Phil Jones' penalty miss proved decisive. Phil Jones taking a penalty. The Reds were hammered 3-1 in London by West Ham, and Jose's insistence on playing 3 centre-backs, which left many Manchester United fans scratching their heads.
Mourinho's all over. I said before the start of the season, all gone by Christmas. I can see the early signs from pre-season. It wasn't going right. It's gone, mate.
In October, a drab 0-0 against Valencia had us all reaching for the Red Bull, or something a little bit stronger, until things started to look up for Alexis Sanchez. Remember him? Little fella from Chile, loves a golden retriever, and earning quite a bit of money at Man United too. Lots and lots of money. He popped up with a late winner to show Old Trafford how football used to be. The Reds were on the receiving end of a late goal at Stamford Bridge as Ross Barkley popped up with the very last kick of the game to level things up. So frustrating. And that's the game where Jose took Martial off. He scored 2 goals and he took him off. It was baffling for everyone. Ronaldo then returned to Old Trafford with Juventus. They beat us 1-0, a bit of a naff one, looking like Champions League is out the equation now.
Ronaldo celebrates on his return to Old Trafford with Matuidi and Pjanic.
But that win against Everton did end the month on a high. The dizzy heights of 8th place.
November kicked off with the Reds taking all 3 points against Bournemouth. The win on the South Coast coming via a late Marcus Rashford goal, which gave United fans hope that the good ship Jose wasn't heading into an iceberg just yet. The best was yet to come for Jose, his last great result as Manchester United manager, as United did what they do best in Turin, coming back from behind to beat Juventus.
Barely believe it myself, to be honest. That is my reaction in the minute. I barely believe it after the game. I didn't think it was going to happen before the game. Even during the game, I didn't think we'd get a win there.
The 2-1 win against Juventus edged United closer to the Champions League knockout stages. It was back to earth with a bump though, as a loss at the Etihad left United on the canvas, top 4 already looking unlikely, and it was only November. A 0-0 draw at home to Crystal Palace hardly helped matters as pressure began to mount even more so on Jose Mourinho, and it took a late winner from Marouane Fellaini against Young Boys to see Jose Mourinho bottling it, literally.
And there's go the drinks.
Could there be any festive cheer as December approached?
No is the answer as United went 2 goals behind at struggling Southampton before scraping the door as Jose claimed Paul Pogba was a virus. But did the board believe backing the manager would be the cure? A battling draw against Arsenal and a win over Fulham, which saw a rarity of United bagging 4 goals, gave us hope going into the Valencia and Liverpool games. But it was hopeless as United were beaten in Spain and Merseyside before the powers that be decided enough was enough.
Jose Mourinho has been sacked as Manchester United manager. It's been a crazy ride.
So who would take over from the angry one? Well, United and Woodward made sure the fans weren't too disappointed to see the back of Jose by handing the reins over to the true club legend on a caretaker basis. It didn't take long for the fans to start thinking Jose who, as Ollie's United battered his former club Cardiff 5-1, becoming the first United manager since Sir Alex to oversee 5 league goals.
Yeah.
What positives can you take from today?
To be fair, there's quite a few.
Wins against Bournemouth and Huddersfield made sure it was a hat-trick of victories that saw in Solskjaer's reign as a rejuvenated Paul Pogba helped United see in 2018 on a positive note.
United take on Newcastle at St James's and beat them. And then David De Gea produces a masterclass to let us win at Spurs. And then the arrival of Burnley at Old Trafford. Surely it's got to be 7 straight wins for Ole, hasn't it? But the visitors had other ideas. And for the 3rd season running, they leave Old Trafford with a point. So, FA Cup wins over Reading and away to Arsenal. So Man United moonwalking into the latter stages of the competition.
February saw United defeat Leicester at the King Power Stadium with Marcus Rashford bagging another winner. Shortly afterwards we would go to Craven Cottage and take them apart, but the injuries were piling up. Next up, the Scousers came to town. We needed 3 substitutions before half time. Poor Marcus Rashford looked like he needed a crutch when he came off the pitch. 0-0. The Reds' record-breaking away win will continue to the end of February at Crystal Palace. Sellers Park, Romelu Lukaku, he became the latest hero in Ole's revolution. United marched on into March.
Lukaku kept up his goal-scoring form and rescued Manchester United, coming back and getting a winner against Southampton, and then so we went to Paris. 2-0 down from the first leg with injuries. Could we do it? I've just got into the ground and the team moves us out.
Never mind being in Paris, we were out there in South Africa with Manchester United legend Ryan Giggs, and spookily, his prediction was quite accurate.
Ideal start, 2 minutes before we scoring. I said Lukaku would score, didn't I? I also said 3-1, so fingers crossed.
What a moment. An extraordinary has come about.
This is the 100th meeting between the sides in all competitions. Started in 1892.
Wolves knocked Manchester United out the FA Cup and Ole's bus began to stall, but we still had Paris. Did I tell you I was in Paris?
Lads, how we all doing?
I'm buzzing still from Paris.
Arsenal
didn't happen, obviously. So.
Did you go to Paris? Did you go to Paris?
Yeah, man.
He hasn't stopped talking about it.
You didn't mention it, mate. Tell me when.
I thought the cameras keep picking me up everywhere, is it? Ole was announced as permanent manager, hardly surprising considering what happened in Paris. Did I tell you I was in Paris?
The man is in charge of Manchester United now. The dream has come true for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but is it hopefully never going to be a nightmare for the Red legend?
Scrappy 2-1 win over Watford ended one of Manchester United's craziest months in recent history. Confidence was high, we were in 4th spot, could we stay there?
Could we fuck? A deflating loss away at Wolves again, saw the Reds drop out of the top 4, never to return. And I'm not blaming Ashley Young. I'd never jump on a bandwagon like that. United then had to face our oldest European rivals, FC Barcelona. It was a night to forget as the Reds lost the first leg 1-0. Not that I'm blaming Ashley Young.
It's just a shame, like, I'm going to have to touch on Ashley Young here, aren't I? But, like,
I tried to make him scared.
Another scrappy league win, this time over West Ham, kept United in the top 4 race, but it was another race that offered the Reds the opportunity for silverware. 20 years since Ole won us the trophy at the new camp. Was it meant to be? Was it fuck? Not that I'm blaming Ashley Young.
If you had a lie at home, you won't fix it, would you? It won't broke. So why do it now?
Hear ya. Nice one.
The buzz is gone. And we're back to being what we are, bang average. We are bang average, that's why we're 6th in the league. Because we are bang average, mate.
Things went from bad to worse as United were battered 4-0 at Goodison before City mauled what was left of the remains of our season with a 2-0 win here at Old Trafford. Amazingly, we still found ourselves in with a shout of the top 4. If we could just beat Chelsea, can we do it? Can we fuck?
The final away game of the season saw Manchester United drop points against one of the worst Premier League outfits ever in Huddersfield. It really did sum up the season, and this was a side that had as many victories over Premier League sides as Barcelona did this season. So top 4 was gone, and it was the Europa League. Here we come again. Mike Phelan was appointed permanent assistant manager at Manchester United. About time too, but we had to brace ourselves because there were 2 European finals being competed by all English clubs, and Manchester United weren't involved in one of them. 2018-19 can get in the bin. Let's hope next season isn't as bad as this one. It can't get much worse, surely.